Immigration is one of the most dominant and divisive issues of our times.
What do we want?
Family life!
When do we want it?
Now!
With these rules, you might not be able to remain together in this country.
But beyond the protests and placards, there's another story of what happens when international borders come into conflict with true love.
The law about immigration came out of nowhere.
And it's tearing some Britons' lives to bits.
Bye-bye.
This is the story of 4 families and their nightmare separations,
It was just a complete shock.
putting everything on the line.
Everything I own is chucked into this reckless gamble.
And fighting for their rights to live together.
My husband's been asked to leave. I'm given a choice whether I let him go or I leave my family as well.
Everything is just in a mess. I can't do stuff like that. My mum usually does that.
In Wales, 15-year-old Nina is getting ready to leave for the Christmas holidays.
You got room for this?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Her parents, Gethin and Elena, have been happily married for 18 years.
Okay.
With her younger sister, Alwena, they should be living like other British families. Except they are not.
Sorry?
Hello, Moscow. What did you do today then?
It was a lovely day today, very warm. Is it sunny in Wales?
Yeah, all day long. Beautiful, beautiful sunny day.
For almost 2.5 years, the 4 of them have been living 2,000 miles apart. Gethin and Nina in Wales, and Elena and Alwena in Russia. It's not a scenario the professional music teacher and her Russian history graduate husband were expecting when they first fell in love in Moscow.
I met my husband in 1997, long time ago now, and we were married for nearly 18 years.
We've lived variously in London and in Moscow. We'd always planned in the long term to come back to Wales.
When Gethin inherited his mother's home, it seemed the perfect time to make their dream come true.
I always consider this was home, and I'd like that to be the same for the girls as well.
But in 2012, the government announced new rules designed to prevent migrants from becoming a burden to Britain.
During the time we were out in Russia, the UK law changed that any spouses from outside of the EU would only be allowed to come into the UK if the husband was earning 18,600 or more in a job in the UK, which I didn't have.
The law about immigration came out of nowhere. I thought he's just joking.
But Gethin wasn't joking. The 2012 changes to family migration rules included a new financial threshold of £18,600 that Gethin has struggled to earn since returning to North Wales. So Elena is in Moscow waiting to apply for a visa, and 12-year-old Alwena is there with her.
The decision we made was that my younger daughter, who was then 9, would stay living in Moscow, but Nina would start school in Wales with me living here with her.
None of them imagined the separation would last for 2.5 years.
I remember my mum coming into my room. She was just standing there with me in my bed, just holding my hand and telling me to be strong.
It was heartbreaking for me. And I remember I was crying all the way to the airport.
Both the girls were born in the UK, and they've been denied the right to live together as a family. Criminal, really.
Now Nina only sees her mum and sister twice a year, which makes Christmas particularly special, even if it means leaving Dad behind.
Have a nice trip. Have a nice time. Say hello to Mum, say hello to Alwena.
Okay.
Go on then, enjoy yourself.
Gethin plans to use the time alone to focus on next steps.
There's been lots of these bits. So what can we do?
Nina is just one of 15,000 British children separated from one of their parents because of current immigration rules. In Taipei, 18-month-old Gideon is another. His dad Stevie is a high-earning engineer, and like thousands of British professionals, chose to work overseas.
You want this? Mommy put it in your cup, okay? Yeah?
Stevie met his wife Ashley 7 years ago, here in Taiwan. When Gideon arrived, he decided it was time to move his new family back to the UK. He found himself a job and looked into a visa for his wife.
The suggestion made by the lawyer was that we apply for a visa that's called leave to remain, and it's based on the fact that I'm a UK citizen, my son's got a UK passport, and my wife should remain in the UK to take care of my son.
But Stevie's lawyer gave them a bad steer.
The leave to remain is to take care of a baby. That normally is only when the baby's up to 6 months old. So because at the time my son was 18 months old, he doesn't need his mum anymore. It was just in complete shock. Didn't really know what to do, to be honest. It was a lot of things running through my mind. Like, bloody hell, what to do, type of thing.
To make matters worse, the new immigration law made forced separation inevitable. Although his new job pays over £18,600 per year, his wife can't apply for a spousal visa until he proves his earnings with 6 months of pay slips. So now he's living in the UK and here for a short visit.
We've had a really good time and it's great fun seeing him. I go out every morning and give him his breakfast. Got about 2 more days.
Next week, it's back to the UK, alone. According to the government's own estimate, the immigration rules affect the lives of 17,000 families each year, and it's having a devastating effect. In Wales, Gethin is determined to do everything he can to bring his wife and youngest daughter home.
This is my daddy. He wants to live with me.
And in Taiwan, the pressure of separation for Ashley takes its toll.
Hopefully it worked out.
British-born Stevie is in Taipei, visiting his Taiwanese wife Ashley and young son Gideon. They're one of thousands of families separated by changes in immigration rules designed to reduce migration and demands on the system.
I'm bringing in an educated girl from Taiwan. I've never really had to take care of her for a day at all. She doesn't want help from the UK government. She doesn't want child benefit. We probably couldn't get child benefit because I earned over the limit for it.
To prove the family can survive without assistance, Stevie must work back in the UK for 6 months.
The hard part is the time you need to wait. It is hard. If I'm a foreigner and I fall in love with someone which is in another country, then so we can settle down in the UK. Yeah, I think it just confused me. I don't understand. Yeah.
After the 6 months are up, Stevie should have sufficient proof of earnings to apply for a visa for his wife.
So I told Stephen, don't look this as a long time because once we separate, we can stay together. So that's what I told him. Hopefully it worked out. Yeah.
Today is Stevie's last day of holiday. He's got to go back to the UK, leaving 2-year-old Gideon without a dad.
Gideon doesn't have only one parent, he's got two. I'm not there with him. So yeah, man, I'm never going to get his time back. I think tonight's going to be a bit teary. It's months of seeing them on a 3x2-inch phone screen.
Give Daddy a kiss, okay? Okay? Give Daddy a kiss. Bye-bye, Daddy. Yeah, this time is actually harder than last time. Yeah? Yeah.
16-year-old Nina from Wales is making the most of Christmas in Moscow. Her Russian mother, Elena, is ineligible for a visa to live in the UK, which means the teenager only gets to see mum and sister Alwena twice a year.
She's very excited to be in Russia again. Don't you, Nina?
Yes, I am.
Yes? Alwen, slabo na putinu залезть.
We've been having walks in the park with my grandma and my granddad and all my family. I was like going to school with Alwena and all of that stuff that usually families do.
But there's someone missing from the celebrations.
When New Year's Eve came and when the clock was striking 12, we were happy and we were like smiling and congratulating each other, but at the same time I knew that this is not all of my family. My dad is not here, which is just very sad.
In Wales, Gethin is living in the family home he inherited from his mother, while making progress towards earning enough to reunite his family.
I'm currently working 6 days a week with a local deli. Right, Kakenni, Ichi.
He also plans to take advantage of seasonal work as a hunting instructor.
Behind it.
But despite his efforts, Gethin is still struggling.
The salary is not what's required by the Home Office as a minimum. I need to be earning 18,600 a year, but in North Wales it's quite difficult.
Determined to have his wife of 18 years with him next Christmas, Gethin's made an appointment with lawyer and immigration expert Colin Yeo for advice.
The minimum income rule is heartbreaking, and it particularly affects people outside London. I mean, these rules have been devised by civil servants and politicians who are London-based, and lots of jobs in London do pay that much or not far off it. If you are outside London, if you are an ethnic minority, if you're a woman, if you're young, these are all things where you're less likely to earn the amount that's required.
It's not the best news. The new immigration rules favour London salaries. And to make matters worse, wife Elena's potential income can't count towards the 18,600 threshold.
I was trained to be a music teacher in the school. And in Britain, I think I can be sort of private teacher, piano teacher.
With Elena's contributions out of the equation, there's no choice but for Gethin to keep job hunting.
Loads and loads of jobs that I've been looking at. Unfortunately, I've been unsuccessful. There's quite a bit of competition for jobs. Keep on trying.
2.5 years of waiting are taking an emotional toll on the whole family.
I didn't realize it would be so hard, to be without my husband and my daughter.
My mum, although she tries to be happy in front of my sister, so my sister won't worry, and she tries to be happy in front of me, so I won't worry. I obviously know that she's not happy at all. To be honest, I don't even know who feels worse.
Nina had sort of depression. She became antisocial because it's actually affected her. And Gethin is a very friendly person, but I could see changes in his eyes. And he more and more stayed in the house, and he didn't want to go out. That's his, this emotional side. And Elena, she missed her dad very much. So I think every day is hard in this life. The hardest thing is to leave my daughter. Are you okay, Nina? No. No? I don't want to go. You didn't want to go? No. Nina couldn't sleep the night before we leave. Okay, you take care, Nina. Right. Be a good girl for Daddy, okay? I thought it would be easier next time, but each time it's the same situation. I hate this day when we must leave. Good girl for Mommy. Oh, dear. Lipstick. Okay. Bye-bye. I believe that in my future life I can be with my family eventually.
I just feel very upset that I have to leave my mum again for like a half a year or even a year. It's hard sometimes because like even big kids sometimes need a hug from the mum.
Ian lives in Bromley. He runs his own football school for low-income families.
A lot of these children, it might be the only opportunity they get to do sport all week. And everything nowadays is so expensive. We try to make it affordable. I just love working with kids.
The football coach takes care of other people's kids every day for a living.
See you in about an hour.
But he's fighting to take care of his own. Ian and his wife Sunshine have been married for a year. The mum of one is 8 months pregnant with the couple's first child. But what should be a joyous time is less so because of new immigration laws.
It's horrible. I come home to an empty house every night.
Ian's wife is stuck in the Philippines without a visa.
Hi, honey.
Which means their relationship consists of daily Skype calls.
You're hungry again. My God. Is it you or is it baby Donovan that's eating all this food? I'll speak to you later, honey. Bye. My son's due to be born imminently. If I sit here and do nothing about it, I don't know when it'll be that I'll see my children, see my wife. That's an important part of their life, the first couple of years, and I don't want to miss that.
Ian had hoped for the baby to be born in the UK, but now that's unlikely. His income and self-employment status has made getting a spousal visa impossible.
The majority of people who I've spoken with, they all just automatically assumed, being a British citizen, that I'd be allowed to bring my wife and children here. But as my lawyer said to me, being a British citizen, you've got absolutely no rights now.
Under current law, if Ian was from any other country in the EU, he would be able to bypass the financial requirement.
The thing that's upsetting is that if my wife was married to a European citizen, there's no financial requirement. It only affects British citizens as well.
Although Ian has savings and owns a property, he earns under the 18,600 threshold and is self-employed. This means his only route to getting his family into the UK is to come up with a cushion of £72,000.
So I seem to be hit with it from all sides. I get hit for being a British citizen, I get hit for being self-employed. A European citizen doesn't need to know anybody here, doesn't need to have a job, doesn't need to have accommodation, and I'm not entitled to anything, but I don't want anything. I don't want benefits, I don't want dental care, I don't want housing, I just want to bring my family here.
In Rugeley, Stevie is hoping he's only one payslip away from a visa to bring his wife Ashley and son Gideon to live with him in the UK. He's spent months readying the paperwork and is leaving nothing to chance.
So this is all to do with like information about banking accounts to show that we've got money saved. It shows that I own a house, credit card, bank statements. It says that you're supposed to sort of give like a photographic history of your relationship and your life together. So I basically went through every single photo that we could find. So that'll be a sloppy one. Fingers crossed it works out, but there could be possibilities that it gets rejected. This is the call.
Since returning from his visit to Taiwan, Stevie's family time consists of early morning Skype chats before work.
Ha! Hey, baby.
As part of the visa replication, Ashley must prove that she speaks English.
Good news. I just got the English exam
Yeah.
result today.
Yeah.
Passed today. I passed it.
That's good. You get like a certificate or something, yeah?
I think it's just like a letter said it's passed.
Right. Oh!
It's Annie.
Ha!
Have a good day at work, baby. Bye-bye.
Right, bye-bye, baby. Bye-bye, little buddy.
Bye-bye.
The past 5 months have been emotional.
Stephen, he feel harder than us. I still have Gideon with me in Taiwan. So he missed all that. His very first trying to put on the shoes and then yay! And first time he can count from 1 to 10.
1, 2, 3.
So he missed all that.
I've saw my wife and son basically every single day in the flesh since he was born. But we moved here and I'm being away from your son for like 5 months.
I'll do some coloring then.
For Stevie, the end is in sight, but he could still lose everything.
Yeah, big fish.
If I get made unemployed, that whole 6 months restarts again. But tomorrow is another day.
And Ian is putting his home on the line to be with the ones he loves.
This whole gamble could backfire and I could end up in a position where I lose everything.
In Cornwall, 2-year-old Nyana lives with her parents, South African dad Michael and British-born Natalie. Every day, these three face the threat of separation. Natalie and Michael met 6 years ago while working in the hospitality industry on a cruise ship.
I was a dancer and Michael was a barman, and I just looked over and I was like, oh, who's that brown boy with green eyes?
Daddy dig.
When Natalie became pregnant, they came to the UK, with Michael on a 6-month visitor's visa.
Those hormones kick in and you're just like, I want to be by my mom. And I just wanted home.
You do it. It's this one, Baba.
On his visitor's visa, Michael was ineligible to extend his stay beyond the initial 6-month period. But unwilling to leave his wife and newborn daughter, he decided to stay on after his visa expired.
But he's settled in, he's in the community, we're playing rugby, football teams.
Yeah. We'll see you soon, yeah?
You even did Morris dancing, didn't you?
I did Morris dancing, yeah. Not by choice, though.
Natalie set up a business selling painted driftwood, but with no visa, Michael cannot work himself.
You do it.
I've got hundreds of orders to get through. It is a bit disheartening that if I don't work, we'll have no money coming in. Be free wall art, which is quite ironic actually. Be free.
The couple have spent 2 years applying for visas, with no success.
I didn't realise until our previous application, one of the reasons in there was that you will have to go back to your own country and apply because there's sufficient people in the UK to look after your daughter. But surely that's not the point.
It's surely against human rights.
Yeah, surely it is surely against human rights. As my right as a parent, and unfortunately, I've got a British child who I want to be with, and they're trying to take that away from me.
Caught out by the new immigration law, football coach Ian may have hit on a way to raise the money he needs.
What's the plan for the next couple of days?
Finish the plasterboarding, installation, all the pipe work's gone in.
He's extending his flat into the loft and hoping to sell it at a profit to bring his pregnant wife into the UK.
This £72,000 that I've got to find, it's not a case of, look, there's £72,000 and then living off of that. That £72,000 has to be there. When we put the initial application in, it has to be there 33 months later, and then it has to be there 5 years later. To be honest with you, you just see sitting there at night with the windows open in summer. Mind you, all that's a bit pointless when I've got to sell it, isn't it, really? But if it gets me with my family, mate, I don't mind. I don't care.
Exactly.
Hello, Sammy. You all right? I spoke to Sunshine briefly this morning, but baby's not arrived yet, mate. The big fear is that I don't sell the house. If I don't sell the house, then this whole gamble could backfire and I could end up in a position where I lose everything.
It's been more than 6 months, and the day Stevie has been waiting for has finally arrived. His wife Ashley and son Gideon are arriving from Taiwan for good. Ashley's finally been granted a spousal visa for 2.5 years. After that period, she'll have to reapply again. But for now, Gideon's just happy to see his dad.
Daddy! Daddy! Daddy!
But I've heard it now more in the last 5 minutes than I've heard in the last 3 months.
Hey, Daddy!
Hey, little buddy.
Hey, Daddy!
I think it's better for Gideon to have his daddy with him. Now Stevie can actually feel like we're all together again. Even though it's cold, but yeah, much colder. But yeah, I think it's better when we stay together.
So that's the taxi driver, probably. I just need 5 minutes, literally, just to think about all the things I've forgotten.
In Bromley, Ian has had an urgent call. His wife has finally gone into labour. She and stepson Russell live 7,000 miles away in the Philippines. So it's a race against the clock if he's to make it in time for the birth.
My dad has offered me, out of his pension money, £600 to be able to cover my ticket. But at least this way now I'm going to be there, hopefully, for the birth. The midwife said literally it's any time now. Hello, mate.
Whereabouts are you off to? Where are you flying to?
I'm off to the Philippines because my wife's just started labour, so I'm trying to get out there for the birth today. I want to be at the birth so much. That would be the icing on the cake. At the moment, I'm going for the fact that the baby will hold on for me. Hopefully. I'm optimistic.
After nearly 3 years of searching for work, Gethin has finally found a job in London. It should meet the Home Office's criteria, but because the refusal rate for visa applications is so high, at 47%, Gethin is meeting with lawyer Colin Yeo to discuss the matter.
Yeah, any of this is missing, you're refused.
Yep, absolutely.
So could you tell me your current salary details?
Yes, I have a job with a company in London. Salary with them is £20,000 a year. So I've had 3 months of salary so far.
That's good news. So would be a good idea to make sure that we've got some sort of evidence of contact between you and your wife?
Yeah, my wife's been over every summer.
That is good, and it's slightly fortunate as well, because I've come across cases where people are separated by the income rule, and they're also refused a visit visa as well, which seems just really to kick somebody in the teeth. It looks like you're over the threshold, you've been married for a long time, there's a good rationale for why you've been separated, which is the Home Office's own rules. I don't anticipate any problems with that.
Excellent. Very good to hear. Some good
after
news.
all these years as well.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
so
you've been separated for so long.
Yeah. Peace of mind, I think, is the big thing I took away from that meeting. It's been absolutely crazy. We've both parents and the girls have suffered really bad. We all miss each other dreadfully. It's turned a perfectly good family into two one-parent families, one living in Wales and one living in Russia, for no particular reason other than stupidity. We're lucky in a way that we've worked our way through this, and now we've got the light at the end of the tunnel.
The emotional and financial cost to Gethin and his family has been immense.
Oh, there she is.
But at least now, there is hope.
I've got 3 months of pay slips, 3 months bank accounts, and I need 6 months altogether to show to the Home Office. And then Mum can apply for a visa. So in another 3 months or 4 months, we can drive around here with Mum and Alwena in the back of the car, telling them we're going to buy a little farmhouse halfway up a mountain.
At least I won't have to do the washing up all the time now.
During the 30-hour flight to the Philippines, football coach Ian became a father.
Daddy, that's the daddy, daddy.
Mum and baby Donovan are doing just fine. Now Ian has just 5 days to learn how to be a dad.
Is that all right like that, honey?
Don't be scared, honey.
You make it look so easy. So how do you manage to get him to sit up? You got your... I know lots of other parents would all say the same thing, and it's not new, but it's new for me. I want to stay forever with you.
With baby Donovan now here, Ian is more motivated than ever to get his family into the UK. He's banked everything on selling his flat to raise the £72,000 required by the Home Office. But until that happens, his son will grow up without him.
What will he be like when I see him next? 5 months, 6 months. They grow up so quickly.
Bye, guys. I love you all.
It's very hard
because we don't need to suffer being apart. And we need to be together as a family.
In the Philippines, Ian has no idea when he will see his family again. And in Cornwall, Michael faces deportation.
I'm tired. I'm exhausted from worry.
In the back of my mind, I think it's going to be a big fat no. Sit down, please. Here you go. Thank you, Daddy.
In Cornwall, South African-born Michael and British-born Natalie have spent 2 years applying for visas. If they don't get one soon, Michael will be forced to go back to South Africa for good.
These are all the applications we've done, all the sort of paperwork we had to get ready, letters from friends, sort of just proving our relationship over the last 6 years. And yeah, if you added up all the paperwork that we've submitted, probably about that high, a massive stack. We've literally just made our whole life an open book. There you go, read it. And I guess it didn't make for good reading, that's why we got refused.
They've had 2 applications and 2 appeals rejected. Now Michael is facing the real possibility of deportation.
It would be really scary. I don't know. I'm bored of pretending to be strong for Diana.
Michael and Natalie have already spent £7,000 in fees. In a last-ditch effort, they too were turning to an immigration expert, James Romowski, for advice.
Michael had made 2 applications. The first application had failed, to some extent because he was badly advised. The rules make it plain and clear, if you are a visitor, you cannot extend your stay as a spouse.
Yeah, the Home Office did say that I go back to South Africa, make an application there and come back, which is not something I'm willing to do. If I leave the UK to make an application, and I think all of this will count against me and I will not be allowed back in. And besides, it'll take 6 months for an application to be processed, and I'm not going to leave Natalie and Ayana alone for 6 months. Natalie being British, why is this happening to her? We met 6 years ago, we've got an established relationship. It should be quite simple, it should be a no-brainer. She's not the same person I met 6 years ago. Or she's not the same person from 2 years ago. I'm not the same person from 2 years ago.
I'm tired. I'm exhausted from worry. I have been to the doctors a lot more than I.
Yeah, you've been really stressed.
By the time I'd actually come to know them, they'd spent several thousands of pounds and lost 2 applications. They'd actually packed their bags, were ready to leave the UK.
Your grapes are over there, look.
Following James's advice, Michael and Natalie have put in a 3rd visa application.
I'm doing this and it all feels like a lost cause. It feels like I'm taking my money and flushing it down the toilet because the process is not fair, and that's what gets me down.
You just feel powerless, don't you?
Yeah, you're absolutely powerless to whatever happens.
Our fate is in somebody else's hands right now, isn't it?
Yeah. There's so much at stake because it's sort of like final straw, really. So yeah, 2 to 3 weeks wait. Yeah, and personally, in the back of my mind, I mean, not being negative or anything, I just think it's going to be a no. I think it's going to be a big fat no.
Since his return from the Philippines, Ian in Bromley has been looking into every possible way to bring his family to the UK.
It's okay, come on.
Before selling his renovated flat, he decided to hire a legal firm to scrutinise his case.
The lawyers found out that because of an industrial injury I received in 2000, and because I have a long-standing bowel problem, it turns out I don't need to sell my property. Come on. Now, all I have to do is show that I've got means to support rather than find £72,000.
So, wife Sunshine could apply for a visa for herself and the children without delay.
I didn't believe it.
Since then, Ian's been waiting for news. And finally, it's arrived.
Both applications were successful and both were dispatched yesterday and should be with you shortly. The visas are confirmed.
1 year ago, Ian waved goodbye to his newborn son. But today, Donovan has finally arrived in the UK, just in time for a special celebration.
Happy birthday, dear Donovan. Happy birthday to you. Yeah!
It's happened. Oh my God. You are with someone you love.
It was like a volcano of happiness. I'm with them every day. We wake up in the morning, we go to bed at night, don't we? Still feels a bit unreal, but they're really here forever.
Noisy digger, have you got your hat on?
In Cornwall, Michael has been waiting for the results of his third visa application.
Bye, Mummy. See you later.
For 2 years, his life has been on hold.
It is frustrating that I'm sort of daddy daycare and not sort of working and providing for my family, knowing Natalie's slaving away and sort of working for us.
The constant threat of deportation has had a massive impact on all their lives.
We definitely keep our stress from each other because see, when the phone rings and your heart just skips a beat. Hello? Hiya.
It's James, the immigration lawyer.
I am good, yeah, not too bad.
Okay. Right, well, congratulations. You've been granted 2.5 years leave to remain in the UK?
James, you're such... James, thank you so much.
No problem at all.
Oh my God. My heart's beating so fast, James, I don't know what to say. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, James.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Bye-bye.
We've made it. We made it. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We can live now.
Yeah, we can actually live like normal people.
So, oh my God, what a relief. We made it. Good girl. It's okay. I love you.
I love you.
Around 52,000 family-related visas are granted every year by the Home Office. For every family who manages to live happily ever after, there are many others still struggling to be reunited.